So this is the deck that I'm using. I have done a deck, ooh, someone needs to find strength. I have done a deck thing for you. So if you want to find out what is that deck, I have already done it for you. The Empress, the Lovers. Okay, so I've done a deck review of this deck. So if you're interested, look on the channel for the deck review. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to January 2026. I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being back. 2025, oh my God, I'm so glad 2025 is finished. It was a year. Oh my God, it was really, really a year. There is a lot of conflicts. There's a lot of stuff that came out. And a lot of you guys is not aware of what happened. But we have to thank China. Whether or not you guys want to thank China, we have to thank China. And the Swiss government and a lot of governments around the world that kind of protect us from that alien spaceship. It was not a comet, okay? All these people that was walking around saying that it's a comet, it was not a comet, okay? It was an alien ship of, an alien ship full of, it's not the anarchies, it's another group, the reptilians, okay? So, this is what I was saying. Check out that reading that I was doing, but I'm going to do it, and I think I will use this time to do it while I go through this, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, despite of what we think about the governments around the world, you guys just don't know what you have just missed, okay? So, they were saying that it was a comet. Comet was coming, and the rest of it, it was no comet. It was absolutely no comet, okay? It was an alien ship that in Switzerland, there is a CERN that they tried to find the God energy. And what they did basically was to call out to see if there was other species in the universe. And those crazy ass, are they draconians? Pick up the signal, okay, because they're far advanced than humanity. And this is what I've been saying to humanity, is that we all just think that we are just so really smart, but humanity is just not smart, okay? And despite what we might think of the governments, they kind of save humanity, okay? If you recognize, and let me give you the full story. So the full story is that there are different alien species on this earth, okay? They have collaborated with governments to do things that is not above water. Governments are aware of these species. They basically don't tell you. You have to do the research on yourself if you want to know the truth. This is why I have this channel. This is why I've wrote a book. I put all the species. There was just so many species. When I was writing the book, they were giving me their description and that sort of a thing. So if you have not read my book, it's Enlightenment, The Veil from the Illusion, Enlightenment. That book was written for humanity to understand that we are not alone, okay? We are not the only species on this planet. We were not taught this. And because we were not taught this, a lot of people just think that we are the only one on this planet. We're not the only one on this planet, okay? There's a lot of alien beam. There's ground zero. There is more around the world that some governments does not talk about. But to all due respect, thanks to China, thanks to Geneva, CERN in Geneva, and all the scientists. A huge thanks to all the scientists around the world. Yeah, NASA, you gotta get going, okay? NASA, okay. You gotta work with the rest of the world and the scientists and the rest of the world, NASA, okay? Because you do have a lot of information, but you do not want to tell the public the truth. And I think it's about time that the public know the truth, okay? And, you know, all of these people who are hugging trees and the witches and the warlocks, divine masculine, divine feminine, you gotta tell. It's not only different sort of people, but there's also different species of people on this planet, okay? So, what I would like to explain to the world, because a lot of people were not aware of what was happening. If you go back and you look at my reading 2024 when I was in America, I gave like an hour reading because I didn't carry my decks. I just never wanted to I was still working. So I was on vacation and I was working because I was getting up at 1 o'clock in the night in America. And I was working with my Dutch time. Okay, so I was on vacation, but I was still working. Okay, because I'm the only one that works in the office. So I did the salary from in Holland, and then I was still working all through the holiday. So I was flying to here and there, and I was still getting up at 1 o'clock in the night to start at 7 o'clock in the morning in Holland. So I really never had a vacation. I was only at a different location. So if you go back and look at that message, how sad, how deeply sad that I was. And it's because of, I knew what was going to happen to the island of Jamaica. I knew what was going on behind the scenes. I knew why the solar beams were going to New Jersey, because New Jersey is has a power point, okay? On the planet, we have power points on the planet, okay? And these are energy points, okay? We have also portals on the planet, and it's in different countries, different places, okay? And this brings me to why I started finding out where the portals was on the planet, is that I went to Paris. There was this just huge castle. I can't remember the name of the castle or what. But I went there and it was just deja vu. I was walking around in Paris and it was just deja vu. And I was like, no, I gotta go back and research something. I was in Rome, I was in Italy, it's deja vu. And that is when I started like going back. First I took a past life. They didn't have anything because whoever the person was not supposed to get the information that I have. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. You can go to readers, you can go to people, but if you're spirit guides and if you are a divine person, that means you connect to the soul of all things and the source of all things. Not many people can read you and not many people can get the information from you, okay? And I've recognized it with myself that I went for a past life regression and they couldn't, just nothing. It's like every door they tried to open with me, it just slam shut, slam shut, slam shut. So I've always said to you guys, all of you is little evil ones out there that is trying to read me. You can't read me. I'm divine. Okay. The source of all things have closed me off. So whatever people are telling you about me, that's not. Okay. The only person that can access who I am as a person is myself. and the source of all things. Okay, there's a lot of people on this planet. There's 144,000 and her kids that is on this planet, the star seeds, that a lot of people cannot read star seeds. Okay, so all the witches and the warlocks always kind of protrude themselves onto us because they need our energy. All right, especially warlocks and witches, because witches they always track warlocks. Okay, so warlocks are the men, witches are the women. Like you have the Jezebel man and the Jezebel women. That mean they gave their soul to the demon and the demon take them over. That's why most of these people are on drugs, on alcoholic drugs, and are sexually promiscuous. Okay, and so sexually promiscuous start from out of the house. Okay, nobody is born sexually promiscuous. Okay, each and every person is born pure from spirit. Yeah, you have some people that is just born the devil, okay, because it's the devil kids, honestly, people. But some people are just, they have some pure energy and pure spirit. And this is why narcissistic people always attract to empathic people, okay? And you have the triad empathic people and you have the dark empathic people, okay? So you can be empathic, but if someone cross you, you are, you know, unbelievable. Okay, sometimes you will even surprise yourself at what you will do, but it depends on who you are as an empathic person. But narcissistic people always go for empathic people. Okay, so I have recognized that was just one narcissistic person I've ever come in close proximity to. And a lot of you, your twin flame and soulmate, or your twin can be also, once your twin is the opposite of you are, and you are the pure person, your twin is going to be triggered because you're going to be mirroring your twin and letting your twin recognize that, hey, you know, you are a part of me, you are my other half, but you are not, you've given your soul away. Okay, so a lot is happening on this planet at this moment where people are finding their twin flame and soulmate, and is recognizing that, you know, and for some people, you feel so bad because you recognize that the person, you know, whoever your twin flame or soulmate is, you know who they are. And then you see them on this planet and they are doing things that you think, oh my God, if you only know who you are, you know. And this is what I say to a lot of people. I don't look at people and see you as a person. I connected with your soul, okay? And if you recognize narcissistic and vampires, they always look in your eyes because your eyes is the soul to your, is a door to your soul, okay? So a lot of narcissistic people, if you notice, especially narcissistic people, you know, they are energy vampires. So they always look for people who carries a bright light. You always want to tear down people who are honest, who are upright, who are, you know, really kind-hearted, but also walk the straight and narrow part, okay? There is something about narcissistic people that look for these type of people to tear them down, okay? Because they hate, narcissistic people do not have their own identity. They lost their own identity, okay? Because if you know why someone become narcissistic is because their parents did not give them the right amount of attention. So you find this child having, you know, have to make their own, you know, they have their own play friends, these invisible play friends and that sort of a thing. And that's when these children, and this is why I say parents fuck their children up. okay? And I cannot stop saying this. Parents, because some people come in as just a positive soul, but because of the narcissistic of the mother or father, then a child is just fucked up, okay? Does people get cured from narcissistic? Not really, okay? Because you have to understand the thing with narcissistic. It's about not self-love. Once you don't have self-love, once you're always looking outside of yourself for love, until you are self-love and until you go, can they be ill? Yes, they can be ill, but some choose not to. Okay? It's as if you're young, you get no attention from your parents, or they abuse you. Okay? Because a lot of people think that if you're a Generation X, you will understand what I'm talking about. Now, Generation X is that we could not, there is things that kids do with their parents. Generation X, we could not have done that, okay? It's either you see a shoe swinging past your face or whatever. You know, Generation X, we grew up tough, okay? So going back to that comet, it was not a comet. NASA was afraid of what it was. NASA knew it was not a comet, but to see so far away in space. But I want people to start thinking for themselves, because I did write it in the book. I did advise people from 2025. The book was published in 2025. And I did wrote it in the book that this was going to be happening, and how to prepare yourself. And the thing about it is that a lot of people think that the war with Russia and Ukraine is all about oily. There is more behind this. And I'm asking you people if you want to understand what is going on this planet, because this year of 2026 is going to be a year of the fire horse. Okay, the fire horse. Okay. So with the energy of the fire horse is about things going with speed, but it is just, and this year as sway energy, it's number 10. 10 is 1, and the 2, the 0 is omega. So it is 2. That is the only time that we use 10 in a numerological number. It's because we are at the centennial of how many years, okay? So this year, 2026, is going to be an unbelievable year. This is why I start saying number 9 year, that was last year, 2025, you got to get up and wake up and understand what is going on, because things is about to blow the top, okay? Things is really about to blow the top. It's either you're going to be taking the blue pill or the green pill, okay? A lot of people, especially in America and all over the world, people can recognize all of these UFOs, okay? They're showing up now. And the reason why is that in 2016, the Galactic Federation had a meeting with the people who run this planet, and said to them, listen, humanity needs to know the truth. Humanity needs to know that we exist. Humanity needs to know that they're not the only one. How many continents that we have on this planet is not the only. There is a huge mass. Okay, and if you look over the ice wall, you will find another civilization. Okay, over the ice wall, there is a lot of underground living things that is here. Yes, there is a couple over the hurt. Okay, we're in a containment center. All right. I don't know why. I think they trust me enough to give the information out, but there is different civilization. There's different people. There is not everyone that looks like humans are humans. Okay. But where I draw the line is when there is a certain group that is heating humans, okay? Because that what they call it, yeah, that they said, oh, it was a comet or what. It was not a comet. It was a alien spaceship, okay? And these energies or species on the alien spaceship see us as food, okay? Energy, food. And the thing about it is that I still do not understand why the English side or the English speaking world, why don't they want to speak the truth, okay? Why don't they want to tell humanity? I think that if you explain to humanity, let them be ready and awaken, advise them how to deal with these species, okay? Because we are not the only species on this planet, ladies and gentlemen, okay? There is just so much of us on this planet. Light workers, I'm calling upon you guys to be at your extreme height of awareness in the year 2026. And, you know, when this comet and everything, because if you go back and look, I was so sad when I was doing that because I was seeing everything. It's like, I can view, okay, what you called it is, I can basically sit in here giving you this message, and it's as if I am seeing a film, so I can view what is coming up, okay? Like when people are lying to me, I am listening and I'm listening to their voices, and I can like go back in the time of when the event happened and see who is speaking the truth or not. Okay. So a lot of people are always like scared of me, but I don't think it's scare. I just think that people who are dishonest, know that I feel it. I feel the dishonesty of someone. My phone can ring and I just know, and it's like my blood start to boil, basically, because I know that the person on the other side of the phone is not honest. Okay, it's just an intuition feelings. It's like my blood start to boil. And I had this like a couple months ago. I was at work, and I don't use my private phone when I'm at work. It must be if I know that someone is calling me. And I felt this, and I pick up my phone, and there was this man on the phone, and oh, I knew that man. I go, is this so-and-so? I said, who is this? I said, how did you get my number? I do not, especially if I don't know your number and you're calling me, I'm not picking up. Okay? And if it's not something that I do have something to do with, I am not picking up. Okay? So there was this man, and he goes, and I said, how did you get my number? Oh, a bank sell your information. I said, listen, do not call me. Just get off my phone. Don't call me. All right? Because I know, you know, this is also a situation where people identification and information is just used, and other people can just call up and ask other people. I think the world needs to set this like in America. When a telephone number is assigned to someone from a server or so, whether it's AT&T or what, once you paid for that number and bought that number, your number is supposed to be assigned. So whenever you whenever you call someone know who you're calling. But that's not in Europe. Well, not yet. I hope that it gets here. Okay. So if once it gets here, people are now going to be knowing who are illegals, who are using other people's identification and information, because your phone is supposed to be connected on your number. Okay, that's why it is advisable that people do not change their numbers. And the reason why is because of this sort of a thing, because your number is connected, because that is what saved me when this crooked ass lady called to tell me that I could not log in a government thing there because there was a spyware on my computer. Now, how can you sit in Europe and I'm in America and you're going to be telling me that a spyware is because you know that someone put a spyware on my computer? So, you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I say to people. Think, you know, because I don't know. And a lot of Capricorn people have this. You can't fool Capricorn people. Capricorn people is like looking at you a mile away and listening to you. And sometimes you say, hey, are you listening? And Capricorn, yeah, they're listening. But they're recognizing that whatever you are saying is not making any sense. Okay? They're analyzing. Capricorn people analyze what people say, and most of the time it's like snap back. Are you here with us? Yes, I'm here with you, but I'm listening and analyzing people. Okay, it's better sometimes to zip it up and listen to what people say, because you will get more out of it. So going back to the and looking at the reading that I did, how I was just so sad doing that reading, because I remember it was after work, and I was supposed to go to lunch, and I told them, no, I'm not going to go to lunch. And I went to walk around and like, oh, I gotta do this thing. Jesus, how can I tell an island that is going through so much mess that, hey, you're gonna get a hurricane that is going to blow the shit away? You know, how do you tell people that a disaster is coming? But you know what we were doing, because my family was like, why are you sleeping so much? But a lot of people do not know, when you are asleep, your spirit leaves your body and you go and you do like a whole lot of work. And sometimes people will wake up and say, oh my God, I've been sleeping so much, but I'm still tired. Yes, because you are going in another dimension and you're doing work. Sometimes it's work on the planet. Okay. As I explained to you guys about when my mom was dying in America, and I was in Portugal for a wedding. It was the best wedding ever. It was as a Irish marrying to a Great Britain. Now that is so weird. Irish marrying to a Great Britain. It was the best wedding ever. And I remember I called my mom, because normally I said, good morning, Mom, and I'm waiting. But the wedding was like the whole day in Portugal. And we stayed at this old priesthood. Okay. So in the olden days, it was like we were still in the 18th century. This was a priesthood, but they turned it in a guest house. And we came on the Thursday. We were there like about 1 o'clock. And I walked in, and a lot of us was staying at this guest house because it was only the only guest house. And it was in the town of St. Anne but it was in that area. I'm thinking, this is kind of weird. And I walked in, and the lady said, oh my God, my daughter, you're here. And everybody is looking at me and actually, but isn't our mother in America? And everybody is looking at me. And the lady said, come. She said, oh my God, did they give you a room? And she was like, everybody's looking at me. You said you never come to Portugal. So who is this lady? I said, I don't know. This is the first time I'm seeing her. And she said, oh my God, my daughter, you're here. And she said, come. I said, and she started asking, which room did I get? And he said, no, that's not her room. You need to change the room. That is her room. And then she took me outside, and she held on to my hand, and she started to walk with me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my best friend, he looked at me and he says, oh my God, strange things happen to you. And yeah, that is true, because I don't know this lady. But so this lady, she was there, and she was like, are you hungry? And everything. Everybody was like, and she said, oh my daughter, you're so beautiful. And she said, come. And she said, do you want to go lay down for a while? And seriously, ladies and gentlemen, this happens to me. It was the strangest thing. And then after I got up and she said, come, I'm going to play the piano for you. And oh my God, this lady started playing Beethoven 5. And I was like, and my best friend was looking at me and he said, no, okay, this is getting a little bit crazy. How did she know that you listened to that? And ladies and gentlemen, this is someone who I've never met my entire life. And she said, come, let's go walk in the, and it was so beautiful in Portugal, because where we were, it was an old monastery, and it was up on the hill, and there was a river behind. It was so beautiful. It was so green. It was so beautiful. And this lady went and she started playing. Oh my God, like everybody just sit down and was like, this lady played the piano as if, oh my God. So when she was finished, we got lunch and so. And then her daughter come and she said, oh, that's your sister come there. And we were looking at each other and she said, oh, I'm so sorry. I must apologize for my mother. I said, no, that's okay. And she said, no, my mother has a Parkinson. She said, my mother used to live in New York and she has Parkinson. Since she comes home, she hasn't talked or played the piano. Everybody started to look at me. Seriously, ladies and gentlemen, this is a serious thing that happens to me in Portugal. And that was 2006, before my mother died. At the same time, my mother was in the hospital in Florida and her organs start to shut down. So ladies and gentlemen, you have a spirit and you have a soul and you have a body. This is why they say the mind, body, and soul, okay? And whenever someone that you're close to is dying, they come and visit you, whether it's in your dream or you start to see the lights flashing or whatever, because they're trying to get your attention. That was the spirit of my mother that was dying in America, was in this lady in Portugal to say her last goodbye. So I know what I'm talking about. I've had it. I've seen it. The weirdest of things that happens. Okay. And like people are like, okay, this is Karina. We don't expect anything more. So the explanation that I'm giving you is that, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand we are body, minds, and soul. But some people on this planet do not have a soul. Okay. Some people on this planet, they're empty vessels, okay? Not all of us is human. What happened in Jersey last year with all of those, we can't say unidentified flying object. They're just not of our understanding. That is what we need to say, okay? Because a lot of people is not educated enough to understand. They came to Jersey because they were scoping out the area in Jersey, okay? Because there was a meeting that took place with all world leaders 2016, and the Galactic Federation, which is a group of species that protect the solar system, okay? So what happened? CERN, that was looking for the godmother, okay? Do you know CERN? CERN is a scientific place that they're trying to figure out the godmother, your soul, you know, if other species, if we're the only species. It's huge. And it so happened, I went there with my husband in 2001. Why I end up going to CERN? Because my husband, he is an engineer, and he is into really finding out the godmother. Because we used to have these conversation, and this is why I said to a lot of people, I am not stimulated by, I've seen a person, I'm stimulated by someone who can conversate, okay? I like someone who can conversate over any subject. And my thing is that I grew up in a Catholic church. I grew up going to a Catholic school. So God, the source of God was always in me. Okay. And what happened is that my husband, on the other hand, at the time, he doesn't believe. He believes in that there is a higher purpose, a higher being, something higher, something that has purpose, gives us purpose, but not that, he would say. And his mother goes to church. But the thing that we didn't like is that his mother gave 10% of her incomes to the church. So we had like conversation about these things. And I'm saying, that is just bullshit, as I say to a lot of you. Why should you give? Did God give 10%? I mean, when God had one fish and a loaf of bread, he fed 40,000 people. So if a church was created for people to come together and to worship together, why do you have to give 10% of your salary and not what you have at that moment to give? Maybe you do well in a week or in a month and then you can give more. Why should there be a percentage that you have to give? No, I think this is bullshit. I think it's just a criminal offense. Okay. And why aren't churches being taxed? Because listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, think about a congregation in a church. Everyone gives 10% of their salary, but yet still the churches are not being taxed. But you as a normal person is being taxed. So think about 10% of all that have, and let's say that we have 10,000 people in a church, like every Sunday, 10% of all these people's salary. Why isn't the churches being taxed? So, these are questions that I kind of ask. We have conversation over and that sort of a thing. So what I want to explain to you people is that Christianity is going to fall. Christianity was the biggest it was the biggest fraud system that anyone that humanity could have thought about, just like marriage. Okay, I cannot understand why they did marriage, because you gotta connect with that person in order and take their name on in order to clear a certain karma that you could have carried with that person in another lifetime. I cannot understand marriage. And seeing how it is going now with everybody just having sex with everyone, and this one is down low but yet still is married, and that one, it was like kind of to break so much of people into getting together and that sort of a thing. But this church thing, I don't believe it, and I'm glad that the church is going to fall. But the worst thing about all of this, with all these Christianity and all these thing there, ladies and gentlemen, the church is in your heart. Okay. When a Jehovah Witness come to me, I want to teach you about God. I said, no, it's in my heart. I said, the church is in my heart. I don't need to. And the worst thing is that, going to a church and you're sitting down there looking at all these evil fucking people, and they're so evil in their soul, because most people go to church because of the things that they do behind closed door, and people are not aware of these people. Okay, people who go to church is not really good-hearted people. Okay, and you can see it with that pastor that the lady said, well, I have this last 1,500, but he said, you're not listening to what I said. I think, motherfucker, you should be talking to me, and I would tell you where to get off. The lady had her last 1,200 and he wanted to give her. So ladies and gentlemen, Christianity is the biggest fraud and all of this, and especially when I'm looking at what is going on now, and I'm calling down, and I thanks to the FBI, CIA, about the sleepers. What I was telling you guys about, there is a lot of country in the world. Europeans, Canadian, North America, that they are a sleeper cell. Now, the biggest one that a lot of people is not understanding what is going on in America now with this fraud, with these Somalians and this fraud. They are sleeper cell. Okay? All right? And I will advise that little cookie-looking Somalian that is on the computer telling white people go work for me, and yeah, you have to work for me. Listen to me. If I were you, I would sit my ass down. Because if it was 40 years ago, 50 years ago, the Ku Klux Klans would have come for your little ass. And by the way, Somalian people, you're not white. You're black, you're African, you're East African, you are Africans. You are not white, so get it out of your head, because not even I am white with a white father. Okay? All right? So you Somalians that don't want to connect with black people because we're not black, you motherfuckers are inbred and you are black. Okay? So I don't know where you people get this thing. And, you know, a lot of people is not understanding these people are the ones who are sleeper cell. I mean, when they're going to be coming, because, you know, this is something that really, it hits me. Because this is what I'm saying to a lot of people. You don't know what it is to be an American citizen. You know, all of these people, they come in, they get an end out. There are the black Americans, there are Africans of senders that is in America that do not get. And these people uses the system. $1 billion, ladies and gentlemen. And then we have this little cookie motherfucker. Yeah, white people work for me. Yeah, I sit at home and I don't do anything. Listen to me, get the fuck off. Because the Ku Klux Klan, if it was 50, 60 years ago, you little mother shit would not be on the internet talking about white people come and work for me. Who the fuck you think you are? Go back to your little fucking ghetto of country. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I just do not understand these people, how ungrateful they can be. Have you ever seen where they come from? And these are the people that enter your country and is sleeper cell. Okay? They're the one that comes in and sleeper cell. All right? I advise the world, I advise European country, I advise you guys, these are the motherfuckers. So if you people think that this has only to do with what they stole, no. They were building a sleeper cell. This is what I say to you guys. It is not going to be a hit from outside. It is going to be a hit from inside of your country. These are the people. Okay? So let me tell you something. You little pritzkit, you better get off the internet with your, you know, how friggin' degrading. You've never paid taxes. You people steal 1 million. And then this woman married to her brother. You know, you people are not understanding laws and regulation and legal. How the fuck can you marry to your brother? I mean, seriously? Seriously? And then you're in Congress? And then you're going to be saying, oh, they can't touch me. You're at the right place, because you're going to be seeing who can you be touched or who can't you be touched. These are the people who comes in and have sleeper cell. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, if you all don't want to wake up, you got to wake up. All right? Because they're all here. They're all around you. All right? You have no respect for our culture. You have no respect for a country and their culture and everything. I don't know if you guys know Ashiali. I think that's the only lady that I really looked up to, and when she spoke, and I felt her pain because of what was happening to young ladies. And you know, this is things that people do not understand. Over this tribal thing and this thing, do your thing. But I don't think that you should be clipping the clit of a female. For what? That's kind of, hello. That's where a woman become sexually aroused. I mean, who the fuck came up with this? Seriously. You know, ladies, especially ladies, you have no idea what these young ladies have gone through. I don't know if you guys know Asialik. I kind of Google her. She was in Holland, and then they had to send her off to America because a sleeper cell also that was in Holland, but they do it as a group thing. No. They're called sleeper cell. Okay. They gathered themselves and then they decided to just turn on the same people in the same country. Oh, another point I want to alert: the human rights. The human rights. It's the highest court of human rights, and it's in the Netherlands. And I'm going to tell you about these people, ladies and gentlemen. All right, because I'm not even calling their thing there, because, you know, I'm going back, seeing this thing, and I'm going back and I'm looking at these people history. In Jesus Christ, you are a man of 65 and you're going to be married to a little girl who is 9 and 12 years old. You're a sick mother effer. All right? So you people can't say that it was written in a book or whatever. You're a sick person. You are a whole friggin' man. And this is a young child. And then we see this idiot is going to be started crying that his wife has become a puber. Jesus fucking Christ, do you know how stupidity is that? And how you're a molester. You're a mentally disturbed case. I mean, someone needs to tell these people how disturbed that they are. You're going to be crying that your wife is becoming a puber? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Are you people really normal? Is there, you know, something up there? Because obviously there's nothing up there. Ladies and gentlemen, these are people who want to take over the world. All right? These are the people who wants to take over the world. What is happening in Minneapolis now is not just so happening. Okay? They place them in America. All right? Okay? And if I cannot understand you as a person, okay, that you can marry to your own brother, that's not how it works in the Western world. All right? And I'm going back to tell you guys what was happening in Holland, because a lot of people do not know. There is one of these men who come from that side of the place, that side of the world, came and asked for asylum in Holland. And the Dutch government is normal. Is normal, you know, we're normal people from the Western world. And they asked him, we know you have many wives. Which one of the wives do you want to take with you to Holland? And because they needed to process his papers. So he took the wife that had 8 kids. 8 motherfucking kids, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry that I'm just so upset over these people. 8. So you know who is going to be paying? Of course, the Dutch government or the European Union. Okay? All right, because we don't even know if we still get subsidy for these people. And the man wants his wife and his 8 kids. All right, fine. He has many other wives, and he has 5 other kids. Okay? He wants to also take the 5 other kids. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. A couple of years ago, we had the same huge problem with people having multiple kids. Now, the Dutch government stopped it, and only 3 kids gets, we call it, it's like child support. So every 3 months, the government will give this child money. They just they tried to introduce it in America. I don't know how far it went, but all European countries have this. Okay, so if you have kids, the government give you a subsidy for these kids every 3 months. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now you listen to the story, and to God, I hope the human rights the courts just fucking send him back to where he came from. Now, the man is going to be suing the Dutch government because the Dutch government doesn't want to take 5 more children on top of the 8. Now, listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, motherfuckers. Those motherfuckers. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. That is grossly misbroke of a system. Okay? Listen, this is the Western world. We don't call you to come and live here. All right? Because it costs us. All right? It costs. We pay like the highest tax rates in Holland. It costs. All right? And these people just get everything. The point that I'm trying to give to you is that these people, they don't like us because we're Westerners. But that you get your wife, your 8 kids, and you're going to sue the government because you can't bring in your other 5 kids? Jesus fucking Christ. Have a heart, you idiot. Nobody tells you to go. Listen, you people have to understand. This is the Western world. One man to a woman. Okay? It's not Africa. There's no polygamy. So keep your nasty bullshit shit where you are and stay there. The man is going to sue the Dutch government. It is at the Human Rights Organization Court in Den Haag. Go look it up, people. And this is what I say to a lot of people. Instead of you sit to be speaking bullshit and gossip over people, look exactly what is going on in your backyard. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most gross. I don't know what to really. No. And you know, the worst thing about it, they don't make anything of themselves. They will get the opportunities and do not make, these children will come and get the opportunities and don't make anything of themselves. So he has a wife and 8 kids and he's going to sue the Dutch government because he can't get your order. Send him back where he come from. Okay? It's not only in Holland. It's in Sweden. It's in Norway. It's in England. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like 2025 just showed up just so much of these things that was going on. I saw one, he raped. There's a couple that they pick up, illegal aliens, and they rape kids. There was, you know, I was looking at these Pakistani men and these men from Africa. They called them in England. And it's as if there is like a group of a system, and these people go after child pornography and child thing there. And these Pakistani men, they had their wife and kids at home and was hooking up, texting with 12-year-old between the ages of 12 and 14. Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, is it me or just something is just damn wrong with some people mental capacity? So you have your kids at home, okay? And you're hooking up with a little 12-year-old British child? And you know, these people were just British children. And, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I have been... because we have 2 Christmas and I'm always on my Instagram and all of these things that is coming, but the Minneapolis thing. And I'm glad because a lot people do not understand these people are sleeper cell. This is why they took over all of Minneapolis. And then this bitch that think that she's so friggin' intellectual that you're married to your own brother. And you had, when you started off, you had 65,000. And in 4 years, how the fuck you made 300 million? How in ever's name, lady? Because I'm sure you're not as educated as I am. From 65,000, you married 4 times. And the last 4 years after you're married to your brother, you made 300 million. How, lady? You gotta teach me that. How? Where did you get that 300 million? You know, this is what happened, ladies and gentlemen. And then we look at Black Americans and a lot of people, and you know, and this is what I want. Leave the Hispanic and the Black Americans. Leave the Hispanic and the Black Americans. If anyone should ever get anything, it's the Hispanic and the Black Americans. These people came in as refugees. And they all make sure that they got European, American citizenship. And they bring in their whole tribe and family. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a council meeting. These people wanted to slaughter their animals in their backyard and in their house. Jesus Christ. And then you little fuckface coming on, oh, white people, you have to work for me, and get the fuck off the internet. I just think that there is just some people that you need to ban from this internet. Now imagine that these people comes from their culture and don't understand that you're living in a total different country. You want to slaughter your pig and your goat. Oh, pig. They don't pig. You don't know what you're missing with pig. They want to slaughter their goat and whatever. Animal sacrifice. Jesus fucking Christ, people, get a life. Wake up. This is the Western world. What are you coming to the Western world to do if you still need to carry your little tribal thing? Are you no serious, people? And they were having this conversation. You know, America should what? America should do nothing, motherfucker. Get the fuck back there. America should do what? Oh, so you come in as refugees, you get all of these things, and you know, somebody needs to look at the law, because normally when you come in as a refugees, you do not get citizenship. I don't know if the law has changed in America, but I know as much as I know a lot about the law. So how these people could have applied for U.S. citizenship if they came in as refugees? There's a hole in the law. Check it out. Because I know you guys are watching me. Check it out. There is a hole in the law. It can eat. Because down in Florida, down in the Wild West, Asians can't get U.S. citizen if they were refugees and they came in as refugees. That's why Asians married to the other Caribbean people and white Americans in order to get American citizen. So some law up in Minneapolis, something fall through the law, because normally refugees can't get citizenship. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't waste my time. All right? I investigate things. I want to question things. I am always researching things. When I'm not doing anything, I'm researching things. All right? So I hope whoever is the head of the human resort court in Holland, in Den Haag, if he cannot accept the 8 children and his 1 wife, he should return. Okay? Because trust me, there are other refugees who really need the help, because whoever this person is, he was in Turkey. Why didn't he stay there? He was in, and this is it, what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Whoever these people are, I think it's a Sardi prince or whatever. Okay? If you're a Saudi prince, why are you looking for refugees? Isn't there other people who are in worse position than you that is looking for help? And this is it. All European country needs to start going back and check these refugees people, because and not even European country, but all countries over the world who takes refugees, because there are the bad apple that is coming in. Because if you were a Saudi prince or whatever, I'm not really sure, ladies and gentlemen, but I think it was a Saudi prince. And he came through and he went to Turkey and he got here. Why you never stay in Turkey? Kind of close to Europe. You know? Just asking. But now you want to sue the Dutch government because they don't want to take the 5 more kids. So it's 13 and all. Yo. These people are serious, ladies and gentlemen. Not only that you guys never see the 2 men that was kissing in the elevator. Oh, yes. And they speak about us as Western. They were in the book. They were in everything and they were kissing in the elevator. All right. And you people talk about us Western. Well, I prefer to be a Western and I prefer to be a black person than to ever have anything to do with your whatever. Because I don't even think, because anyone who is going to be married, I see this friggin' 90-year-old man married to a little girl. And I want to, this is very important. And I think I have to tell the Dutch group this. Because I think not many Dutch are aware of this. Ladies and gentlemen, and especially, my art goes out to a lot of Afghanistan people. I've done some research and I have found out something and I think my stomach turns, okay? And I want, especially if you are Dutch and you're listening to this, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm someone, if I meet someone, I know, I met an Afghanistan boy through my work. I don't know, but my, and I will always listen to my intuition. It's like, help him. I will call him up. Even often I'll call him up and say, come do this. And I can do it. Sometimes I don't have any time to set up a new computer or so. And I said, come do it. And I was researching some things and I found out what they were doing to young Afghanistan boys. Jesus fucking Christ. And you people say that that is religion? You people are fucking messed up. Okay, that is no religion. That is absolutely no religion. Okay? If you're going to be using little boys before you get pregnant to abuse little boys, you know? So I'm asking each and every person, open your hearts to these Afghanistan young men. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, I always listen to my interview and I just think there is something, I need to do something for you. And I try to get him a job and I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm like that. And I'm at a position in my life that I can help other people and and that's what I do. But this little, and then I was doing the research and I was like, oh my God, that's why I was thinking, I gotta help this child. So, ladies and gentlemen, what is happening in America now with it's more than $1 billion, all right? When you guys do in the research, you're going to see it's more than $1 billion. These are the people that comes in country under these sort of a situation and they create the sleeper cell. There's a lot of sleeper cell. They're in Europe, they're in America, they're in Canada. A lot of sleeper cell. And my thing about it, I don't know why the fuck you people think that you want to take the world over. All right? We don't want you people. We don't want your religion. We do not want it. Okay? And if you people understand the thing with America, on the American dollar, it says, in God we trust. We don't want your religion. We don't want your date. We don't want your mosque. I just hate the sound of that thing. Every time there is one in the middle of Rotterdam, when I'm driving, I drive there. I will, if even I'm going close, I just can't take that bloody annoying. I think it's one of the most annoying noise I can ever understand. You know, you people want us to respect your culture. Have you people respect our culture? Do you have respect for women? No, because you people don't have any respect for women. You are not better than a woman. God made Adam and Eve. All right. And what you people are going to be talking about, women are not going to go to heaven. But you massias man that is over great on 50-year-old, marrying to a little 12-year-old is going to go and see the face of God. I think you better go and really read the Bible to understand, not to fuck. You're not going to see the face of God. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so upset with this culture and this with these people, and they want to push their agenda on us. We are Western. You know, Western. That means we can think for ourselves and make decisions for ourselves, and that you can go to a country. You can come into this country in Holland, and because we have a normality, no polygamy, okay? And one man to a woman, and you have 5 wives. And they said, okay, choose the wife that you want. And you're going to carry your wife and 8 kids. And then you're going to now press charges, and you're going to be taking out a lawsuit against the Dutch government because they don't want to take the rest of the 5 kids. Who the fuck going to play for them? Didn't you think that you should wear a condom? In the Western world, people wear a condom. Do you know how many children does Dutch people have? 2 or 3. Who you think going to pay for your 13 kids? People like me who have to pay taxes out my nosehole so that you people can live. And I'm sure you speak for a lot of Dutch people. So, Mr. Man, I would say to you, because obviously you think that you're John Book and Duppy Conqueror. This is the Western world. Okay? We have 1 wife and 1 husband. But that you're going to really sue the Dutch government because they don't want to take the rest of 5 children. Really, motherfucker? Go back to Turkey. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people do not understand. The European Union have done so much for these people. I mean, a lot. Our taxes is like the highest in the world. And you want to do this shit? You want to really sue the Dutch government because they don't want to take another 5. So 13 children, motherfucker. 13. Well, excuse me. If you were the prince of somewhere, why you don't stay there? Why do we as your European citizen and European start have to accept your bullshit when you know the laws and regulation of the Western world? It is not our problem that you could have time for have 13 children. Because European people do not have the time to have 13 children. This is why all of you can come here and get so much. It's because we don't have the time for 13 children. So let me ask you something. Who do you think is going to feed all of those 13 children? Do you know how many taxes we pay? You know, you people, I don't know, you and your data and your daughter and your daughter and your what and your what. You know, seriously. And then people were talking about people, you know, get a life. Really? You're going to be want to take out a lawsuit against a country because the countries have grown laws, grown rights, grown laws. Every European country, a couple of years ago, we go and we stample for the rights of the idiot 13. So of course all of us, and then you people talk about black people don't want to do anything, and motherfuckers, what do you people do? You people leave and you come. Who the hell in this time have time for have 13 kids? And then you want to, you really wants to, ladies and gentlemen, you can see, because there's a European guy, or is he American, that is doing this research on all of these people who are really just taking advantage of the system. That you are deciding to, really? I don't know. I think some of them drink mad puss. Okay? And I'm advising you ladies, especially Europeans, that is going to Dubai, for people to go pee and shit on you. Come on! Ladies, have some respect for you. And you black Americans and you Americans, stay the fuck in America. Because I don't know why you people going to Dubai to let a man pee and shit on you. For what reason? Come up, ladies. Oh my God. Have some respect for yourselves. And the Brits, the East Europeans, the if the black Americans are going, for what? Number one, I don't want to go to that country because we can't take the heat. It's too hot to pee and shit on you. And then some of you come back with a lot of disease and whatever. These nasty people. I mean, they smell so bad. God damn it. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you about the comet because I really need to get all of that, because I could not believe that stupid ass man wants to really charge the Dutch government for not wanting to take another 5 children. Really? What do you think about condoms? I think they should give you a whole friggin' pack of condoms. The European Union have the same thing as America. All right? These people just take advantage of everything. All right? Because if you people that think that it is right to go marry to your cousin and to marry to, Jesus fucking Christ, you're only creating more karmas and chaos for yourself. Okay? No wonder, these people have lower IQ. If you're going to breed in your family, you must have lower IQ. Only animals breed with each other. And not even they're going to fire somebody straight out there. What is wrong? That's not healthy, human. God damn it. You people can say everything about black people, but black people don't do those things, okay? And white people don't do those things. And this little ugly ass, boy, get off the internet. Because I'm telling you, the Ku Klux Klan is waiting for you. All right? Because all those rednecks that recognize how much money you people get into America and their kids, and they are living off of nothing. Afterwards, I'm seeing this American man. The man was sick. Lord have mercy on us. And they fired him through sickness. And this is it. I cannot. And the man lost everything. And he and his wife live on the street. And these motherfuckers come into America. 1 million. 1 billion. And this poor man loses his house. And he and his wife is living as Jesus Christ. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Some people, I have a heart. These are things that really makes me sad. I don't know. These are things that really makes me sad. But as we go back to the comet, and I don't care what you people say about China, but if it wasn't China, and the scientists in CERN, Switzerland. And there was 3 people that, what happened, ladies and gentlemen, NASA keep on saying that it's a comet. It was not a comet. They knew it was a spaceship, okay? As far as you knew the spaceship was coming in. Now, this Earth and all the planets around the Earth that's orbit around the Earth, you got to understand. There is a ship, a huge ship that is full with different species, and they're guarding the species that come down as humans, starseeds, and that sort of a thing, okay? Because there's different types who comes down, okay? As you look at the Aborigines, they are not from this planet, okay? The Indians, the Aztec, the Peruvian, and that sort of a thing. So all of us, or the Galactic Confederation, is a group of different species. So you hear about the Palladians, there's just so much of them. The Arcturians, the Palladians. Arcturians are very Christian. Okay, they're from the 9th dimension. We only come in peace. All right, we spread love and light to people. We open the hearts of people. We heal people. Okay, and the Palladians and all the rest that is here that I don't talk about is all in my book. I've put all of them. The little grays, everyone was in the book. Go read the book. Okay. Now what happened is that China kind of recognized what was going on, because China is just far further than the Western world. And the scientists in CERN in Switzerland have connected with the scientists, and what the scientists was so shocked afterwards. And they basically told us, because the ship was full with all of these reptilians, and they basically told us that, yeah, they're coming to take over the planet. Okay? Because they are a warrior. They go and they war all over the solar system. Now, we are trying to figure out, and that is what they kind of figure out, is that the message that CERN sent out to see if there was other people in the solar system, all the alien beams or whatever, because, yeah, it's a scientist. That is the biggest science thing apart from NASA that is in America, that is in the planet. And they, it's research. You're doing research. You're trying to research if there are other beams or whatever. And they send out the signal, and these whatever aliens pick up the signal and decided, and what they were doing, ladies and gentlemen, and this is why, let me explain before I go to these idiots on the internet. So what this ship did, however way they got in without the Intergalactic Confederation found out, they got a loophole to get into our solar system. So I think they came through a black hole. Okay, because there's black hole around our solar system. I don't think a lot of people do know these things. And they came through. And if you notice, when they came through and, like the hurt, because normally, if there's something you see, you're trying to figure out what is that, if something is not from. And they block, because, these people have, technology that is just far, far from the understanding of more scientists on this planet. And what they did was to block and put a shield over their spaceship, so no one could connect with them. And, of course, humanity is going to be like, who are you? What are you doing here? Or something. So humanity sent out a message and said, listen, how many times we have been wasted off, but yet still we fight, and we still, because that's a peaceful message because if it was me, I'd just say, motherfucker, hey, turn back. I don't know where you're going, okay? But a real peaceful message that, hey, we have had many wars, but we still came back, we still made it back. And they were basically watching the planet. Okay, so a lot of people who were talking about, I think I have to break this down slow for you people. So anyway, they came in, and if you recognize what they were doing, they were playing tit for tat, because they were going in, going out, and then they were speeding up. So of course we know, all right, show off. You know, your spaceship is good or whatever. You know, you have the thing. And if you notice, ladies and gentlemen, they went to the sun. Now, for a lot of people that I cannot understand the stupidity of humanity, if a spaceship is going to go directly into the sun, and you're releasing carbon, because carbon is what run the spaceship, wouldn't you recognize that, hey, something is a bit off? What kind of species that can go to the sun and take you? Do you know how hot that bloody sun is? So that they went to the sun. Do you know what those motherfuckers went into the sun and what they let off into the sun? Okay, all right, because these are beasts. Okay, because they see humanity as food. All right. And they went to the sun, they let off this copper dioxide so that the sun would be blocked out, and then they would have punch on us. Then they would have, because that's how they played. They played dirty war, okay? So they went to the sun, and that was what they were, and this is what the government were saying to you guys. If in case there should be blackouts and there's power cuts and there's no thing there, it is not something that they were basically doing, because there's a lot of people who are fearmongers, and they were saying that the governments are doing this. No, they were advising us, because these bloody creatures went to the sun and they tried to block out the sun, because whatever they put in the sun, the plasma atom that they put in the sun was supposed to black out, and then they were going to attack us, because on the ship there were multiple thousands of these species as soldiers that were sleeping dormant. Do you know what we just miss, humanity? A lot of people, you know, and I still cannot understand the stupidity of people. Do you know what we just miss? All right? Because they were going to, these species, they breed us because they see us as food. Okay? Do you know how many thousands soldiers, well, they said they're soldiers, because I keep on asking the Holy Spirit and asking myself, and my guys, these questions. Why? Because Palladians, Arthurians, and that sort of a thing. If you guys look at this movie, oh my God. Oh, that was such a beautiful movie. What was the name of it? Because the thing about it, what you guys do not understand, they show you everything in the movie. They can't do anything without they advise you that this is what. So they will put out this movie, like when they did Matrix. Matrix was supposed to awaken humanity. All right. So what happened is that these people do not understand what was going to hit this planet. They wanted to block out the sun. And this is why government says, do not open your door. You know, kind of figure out, because they start sending out these packages. I just cannot understand that people are so stupid. And I'm really recognizing how people are so stupid. I mean, if there is something in the galaxy or something that we are not aware of, why do you think that governments was really advising people, if you know the blackout happened, just stay in your house? Is because those on that spaceship, whatever they put in the sun, a plasmatic situation in the sun, so the sun would black out, then it would be dark, then they were going to invade Earth. So, God, I can't believe how stupid people are. I think that not even half of the Earth was recognizing what was happening, because everybody was sleeping. Oh, it's a comet. Oh, it's a... So, you know, we don't know how long, because they turned around and went, because this is what I was asking the group also. How did they get in? Because normally you cannot come to the solar system or enter the solar system if you don't get a pass. But these are just horrible species that see humans as, you know, food. How did they get in? So, you know, ladies and gentlemen, we just missed it by the edge of our teeth. And, you know, brace yourself, because 2026 is going to be another year, because we don't know how far, where they went, if they're still listening to us, because they were listening to us and trying to figure out us. So, you know, brace yourself for 2026 and just listen to the governments, because a lot of us are against the governments. But the point is that you people are just not awakened. You're just not ready for the information. You know, and I myself has been saying, and they're saying, yeah, they're not ready for the information. And honestly, I mean, you people, you didn't even know that there was this comet, this spaceship, you know, and NASA took everything offline. And, you know, thank God for China and working with the Swiss scientists. Or else, you know, because, you know, do you guys recognize that they were saying, oh, November 19, November 19. And I was laughing and said, oh, November 19, the aliens are going to land. Land where? Where? And it's not their planet. You know, because they're wars, they're warriors. You know, these species, it was going to be terrible, ladies and gentlemen. So I will advise all of you that is kind of, oh, and the government, and they're doing this. No, they're not doing it. That little ship that went and do the thing in the sun, what they did was to let down all of this copper and thing to block out the sun, and then they were going to be invading the planet. Jesus fucking Christ. I can't even recognize that people was not even aware of the shit that was going to hit the fence. Anyway. Get ready for 2026, because we don't know where those, I don't know. And I'm trying to be nice. But you know, I'm really looking at how far humanity has come. And these species just think that they are so powerful because they have an advanced system. They see humanity as being very primitive. Okay. And you know, humanity, wake up. Wake up. We are not alone on this planet. You know, just wake up. That is the reason why this situation was happening in 2024, because they were warned, these other beams was warning humanity and the planets of what was going to be happening, because they knew and they recognized what was going on. There's a lot that and I think humanity is not really ready for it. But, you know, I am saying to the governments, you gotta feed food speed, you know, feed them with a spoon, because they need to know this thing, because you guys have no idea, because you guys think that, oh, they're landing and they're coming and they're going to be here on the 30th and then the 19, if it was China and Switzerland, they had to send them really something so they back up and turn around. But we don't know, because they could be coming back. So ladies and gentlemen, brace yourself for 2026, because I don't think some of you can get through this. And I'm advising humanity, if this should happen again, because they will come back, all right? Because they recognize that, hey, because what humanity said is that, look, we have had many wars on this planet, but we rebuild, okay? So humanity is basically, and what is actually, and what is going to be in the next 5 years is that they want... you know, the beams, the peaceful beams that is on earth with us at this moment, they want to have an integration so that humanity can learn, or they can learn to live with humanity, okay? But not all of them is really friendly, and not all of them is very peaceful, okay? And that's what we're seeing, the changes that is coming up between now and 2030 is because they wanted to roll it out little by little. But we, CERN, we can't, blame CERN, because CERN is kind of doing their research. And that's it. We never know what is out there when we're trying to send out messages, and who will, answer these messages. And it was just, it's scientists, you're doing science work, and, go and Google it. Message from certain scientists, okay? Because he speaks English. Most European countries speak English powerful. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was what was on the hand. But a lot of people were, and ladies and gentlemen, we gotta face this. All right? You people just be on this internet to make money. Okay? That is all that you people, that was the biggest lie. And I'm listening to these people and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, that's not true. Because they block you. Because, really people who can, there are people who can leave their body and consciously connect with another spaceship or another in order to, research things and that sort of thing. And this guy was saying, no, they put up so much energy, they block us out so that we could not mentally communicate with them. So this girl that was saying, yeah, and the bed, no, it's because you're one of them. You're the offspring from one of them. And you're going to be saying, oh, they're bringing beds. And yeah, you did not tell the part that they were going to eat humanity and they came to invade the planet. I hope the money that you make with all your videos, with your bullshit. And I'm just, Jesus. You could not communicate with them. I don't know where she was going. Okay? They just never wanted to communicate with us because they just think that humanity is a lower form than them. So, little girl, however you are, and this is it, I say to a lot of you, not each and every person that is on, whether this platform or other platforms, other social media, that they have any good information. And this is what I always say to you. Google what I said. Go look for certain scientists. Go look for China, what China was saying, because China was really, really worried. China was knowing, because China is so further. China was knowing what was happening, okay? And yeah, we're going to be having another sort of a COVID thing that is going to be coming up. And the thing about it is that humanity, some government state is also going to die. Someone who is worldwide known. I really don't want to get into it. But anyway, that was what was going to happen. So when you recognize that November 19, because I was like laughing, because I had this conversation. I have my best friend lives in New York, and he and we can have these really heavy conversation because we're both intelligent, and I see his point of view, but yet still I'm not touching it. Okay, because this thing with Israel and Palestine, I'm not touching it. And the reason about it is that I just think that people should whose land it is. Jesus Christ, if all of us die tomorrow, we're not taking anything with us, okay? And, when they're trying to get European in this, I'm thinking European is way over this side, and you people are way over there. So try clean up your backyard. And don't expect another group of people, because then you're going to say, oh, European is always intervening. Oh, America is always intervening. This is what I think that, whatever is happening over there, my thing is not to be over there. And so my best friend and I, we can have this. He went to thing there. We can have this really heavy conversation. So I called him up and I was like, listen, have you seen the comment, and have you looking at this comment? And I'm like, have you ever think about it? We have this war that is on the going, and we have this comet that is coming, and nobody's knowing. The comet was coming because they wanted to de-eradicate all star seeds, because we are the one that is balancing the frequency and energy on the planet. And when I knew that it wasn't going to happen, is that I went in meditation. And I go look at the Akashic records, and I recognize what has happened, because it's not the first time. If you research something in Peru, I think it's in Peru, that same comet was painted by cavemen on the wall. It's not the first time that it came to the solar system, and it came to invade Earth. It's not the first time. And this, if you know how many of those, well, they say they're soldiers, but as far as I'm concerned, yeah, you are an amphibian. Okay? All right. And we're not here to judge who you are and what species you are. I think it's about having respect for another species, okay? And I'm looking at it just like how we eat chicken and we eat cow and we eat all of these things. They look at us as the same thing, okay? Because they're eating mermaids, because there is some special thing in mermaid. And you know that, I mean, seriously, who would want to eat a mermaid? They're so beautiful. The ones that is beautiful, because I see some that come out from under the deep. Holy Father. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was what the hell uproar. So we don't know how far they are out of the solar system, because they had the intergalactic, because if it wasn't our own scientists on the planet, it would have been worse, because they had planned to black out the sun. Whatever they spewed in the sun, the plasmic that they send in the sun, was the sun to go dark. That's why the government was advising you guys that it can be 3 days of darkness. Okay, that was the reason why. That's why they were, and a lot of governments send out book and pamphlet as what to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm advising you, if this, start buying up food. Buy tins of beans, because beans stay longer and it is protein, so you're full. Each adult should have at least 500, and every child they say 100, but do 200. Okay, we gotta protect ourselves. Listen, make sure that whoever is going to knock on your door, and whoever you are, and you're the master of your house, the door is not going to be open. Make sure, if your country has a siren, you get the fuck home, or wherever you are. You need to tell the person in your house where you're going to be staying and whatever. But as siren, people always try to get home and get home on time, okay? And no matter who knock by your door, if everybody who is supposed to be in the house is in the house, if it's the neighbor, let the neighbor stay out there and knock. Don't open your door until it is calmed down, until the lights and the power come back and the government says, okay, it is good to go out, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourself, because between now and 2030, things are going to be really, really upsetting on this planet, okay? So I hope I help you with that. I don't know. I should give a Dutch one. But I'm trying to get these off to do the readings. You know, ladies and gentlemen, for all the subject that I talk about, all you have to do is go Google it. All right. I don't give bullshit out. I just want to ask the people, because you said that you went and you could, don't do it. Stop doing it, because it wasn't true. I don't know where you went and connect, but it was not with that soul ship, because that ship was full of alien species that was not here to be friendly with us or bring any thing their bed. They were here to sparkle out all the star seed. So the energy, there was no more energy on the planet. And they were here to invade this planet, okay? So, you know, guys, listen, we have to work along with the governments, especially with this, because it's a foreign object entering our solar system, okay? They did not ask for permission, all right? These people get the sign, the send out from concern, and then they enter our solar system, because these people are warriors. Okay, they had millions of sleeping, or they think that is sleeping soldiers. These are not pretty things to deal with. So, you know, ladies and gentlemen, please protect yourself out there. All right, make sure that you have enough food in the house. All right, because that is definitely going to be helping. Let's make sure you have enough food in the house. I do love you guys. I hope that this helped. Brace yourself, because things is about to get rough on this planet. And when we say rough, we mean that the situation is going to be happening. We don't know exactly where they are in the solar system, because they got run out of the solar system. But more strange things are going to start happening in 2026. I am hoping that the government will really start telling you guys that, you know, this is the situation. These are people. There is so many people who have seen landed spaceship, crash sailfish, and that sort of a thing. All right. And I think humanity needs to be awakened now. We can't wait until 2030. All right. And I hope, and I would just hope that every country in the world has a siren. We have one here. It goes off every Monday at 12 o'clock. So they have to test it. Okay. I really, really hope that every country could have some form of awareness for people, that, you know, people can go pick up their kids, or people can get home or get to safety before these species affect us. Okay. Please leave a like, share. People need to know what was going on. And namaste.